Welcome back to Ref Corner. Welcome back to my page. Here we have an exciting interview lined up for you. Someone who Jamaica hasn't seen for many years. Jamaica and the world. I'm gonna allow Mr. to introduce himself.
Thank you very much for having me, Carl. This is former FIFA referee Kevin Thomas from Jamaica. Doing an impromptu thing with Ref Corner Live. So thank you for inviting me for this sit down and have a chat with you.
Alright, as you can see, Kevin is someone of very few words. One of my friends way back in the days say there are 5 B's when giving a speech. 5 B's. Be brief, brother, be brief. So let's start it. What year did you start your referee career?
I started officiating back in 2002, right after the FIFA World Cup in South Korea and Japan. However, I actually did my referee exam and course in 1997, but I was still playing for my community back in Seaport in St. Thomas at the Division 2 level, and I just wanted to be a player. But I migrated to Kingston, then started teaching at Winwood Primary and Junior High. And one summer I remember after the work I said, I'm gonna go into refereeing this time, full time.
Alright, what position you played and what was your introduction to football? At what age?
Well, I remember when I was like 10 years old watching the 1986 FIFA World Cup in Mexico. Diego Maradona was the outstanding player for me. He's always been my favorite football player. I started playing about that time, like at primary school. Then I left primary school, went to high school, and I played at the under 16 level. And my position was a defender.
Defender, okay. Do you remember who introduced you to refereeing, or there's somebody you saw who you said, yeah, that person influenced me to become a referee?
Yes, I can distinctly remember my physical education teacher in high school, Mr. Anthony Hewitt, former president of the St. Thomas FA.
Okay, great. Fast forward a little bit. In joining the CASAFA referees group, there is a stepping stone. You started at grassroots, then they made Super League, Premier League panel, and then the FIFA panel. Do you remember what year you became a member of the Premier League panel, then the FIFA panel?
I remember after I started in 2002, first I set myself a target of like 5 years to go on the FIFA panel, which was realized with my hard work then. I started out doing Manning Cup, Coles, under 16. I did CASAFA Division 1, Major League. And then I started doing Super League with guys like Mikey Mitchell, Margaret Sutherland, Anthony Garwood, Horace Robinson, Dumpling, big up yourself. Sir Johnson from Bridgeport as a PE teacher. And we also had persons like Gore, yes, coach at Cavaliers now. And
David Layla.
David Layla, Gore.
Yep.
Yes, we started out with it. That fitness test the same time together. Remember a person like Anthony Garwood, Ricardo Morgan as well, big up yourself. Yes, so those were some of the persons. Like Peter Prendergast, my mentor.
Guru.
Yeah.
Alright, what are some of the fondest moments you have whilst being a referee? It doesn't have to be on the international stage, but what are some of the fondest moments you had while refereeing?
Well, some of my fondest memories, especially locally, just bonding with the guys, especially at training, maybe at CASAFA or at the panel level, when we have panel training, someone's birthday, they got flower or whatever. I mean, it was really fun. On the international level, traveling, meeting referees from over the Caribbean within CONCACAF, and also going to like places like Brazil myself, Raymond Bogle, doing some referee seminars all over. So that was a really good time. And persons who want to go into referee, it's hard work, especially staying fit and healthy. that will pay off once you dedicate yourself, set yourself some targets, and you will achieve.
All right. This is a question I normally ask all my referees, my colleagues who I interview.
Yes.
How has refereeing helped you in your daily life?
Well, referees has helped me in my daily life since I started. Even today, time management, discipline, consistent, managing situation that might arise in terms of a conflict or a flashpoint. It has helped me mentally. Because I remember a couple of years ago, I left Jamaica for specific reasons, and it just was my mental toughness and that level of discipline from refereeing that really helped me stay focused.
All right. Going back a little bit, whilst you were on the Premier League panel, which team would you say back then was the most difficult to officiate in the Jamaica Premier League?
Well, I would say it was practically more than one team. It's not say the difficult level, it's just that the environment where those teams are located, the challenges that those people face on a daily basis, and bringing on that energy into a game, supporting their team. Teams like Waterhouse, Arne Garden, Scully Garden. Those are some of the teams. I also, in terms of in the West, down at Seba, those are some of the teams, and Rivoli from Spanish Town.
Those are some very, very hard teams to officiate.
Yes.
Not necessarily the players or the team, but where they're from, the environment, the spectator, the supporters, everybody, the entire package. All right, so I'm gonna move a step forward. Sometimes us as referees, we don't take stats. We don't have data readily available on us. I remember there was a popular politician, now deceased. It was said that whenever you do a team that he is affiliated with, they never win a game. I remember about 2 years ago, after Marvin Morgan finished playing, I was at a community center playing some football, and he said to me, Mr. Terrell, you know, when I was playing for Arnett, once you were reffing, I never lost a game. I was like, whoa, players really kept those stats. Us as referee, we don't do that. So how has that situation helped you whilst you were reffing, knowing that whenever you step on the field to officiate that team versus any other team, they have never won a game with you? How has that helped you mentally?
First of all, I usually prepare myself mentally for that specific team, and I'm not scoring goals for that team. I'm not a player. I go there to referee without fear or favor, no bias. I call for what I've seen. So whenever that person was saying that they couldn't win a game, maybe that person should have looked at the type of players they have on the field. And those are the players that need to score goals for that team and win matches. I'm just there to officiate, enforce the laws of the game. So like I said, I go there without bias and no preconceived idea. I just go there to officiate the game without fear or favor for any team.
Yes, it is very, very unfortunate, people, viewers, subscribers. I have had the same fate. Many clubs have been to, oh, Mr. Terrell coming today, he's too strict and he doesn't ease up my team. Referees don't ease up any team. We play, we ref based on what we see. All right? Now, leaving Jamaica, you mentioned earlier that you had to leave Jamaica. I know you went overseas on your own personal pursuits, and you went to teach, am I correct?
Yes.
To teach. How many years did you teach in that foreign land, and what was the experience like?
Well, I remember back in Jamaica in 2015, I was working at a telecommunications company for a year and a half, and then I was furloughed or sent on redundancy. So I had student loan to repay after finishing my bachelor's degree at GC Foster College, physical education and sports. So I needed money to pay back my loan. So I was looking for opportunities, and this opportunity came up to go to Japan to teach English as a second language, and I grabbed it with both hands. I spent 7 years in Japan, wonderful country, The culture is really nice. The only little challenge I had was really the language barrier. But I've learned some basic Japanese. I survived 7 years, like I said. So, I mean, navigating my way, and I used a lot of my mental toughness, drawn my refereeing skills, and what I've learned throughout the years, just to focus on my task. So Japan was a wonderful place, and yes, it's a different culture. Everything is different, but once you go there and you adjust and adapt, you will survive. So that's what I did.
Okay. My viewers and subscribers, they would love to hear a sentence or two in Japanese. I know everybody know you. Persons coming up may have heard of you, but anybody watching this now, I know Kevin Thomas. He's a person of very few words, but if you could just tell us two sentences in Japanese and the English translation.
So first, watashi wa Thomas Kevin desu. So I just said my name is Kevin Thomas. So in Japan or Asia, your family name comes first, then your first name comes last. So that's why I said watashi wa Thomas Kevin desu. In English it would be Kevin Thomas. I am Kevin Thomas. Next thing, watashi wa FIFA no shimpan desu. I was a FIFA referee, or deshita is the past tense of the verb.
All right.
So, watashi wa FIFA no shimpan deshita.
Great, great, great. Did you try to officiate in Japan? And what is the football and refereeing like in that country?
Well, I've never gotten the opportunity to referee there, but I've went out and watched several games. And the people there, they love football, even though they call it soccer. But they love football, and it's a big thing there as well, one of their top sports. Apart from sumo and baseball, I think football would be the third highest ranked sport in Japan. Yeah, but I didn't get involved in refereeing just because mainly of the language barrier. I didn't have much Japanese proficiency skills in terms of speaking, so, and then if I had to do the courses, all of those are in Japanese, so that was a challenge.
Okay. Fast forward, or should I say rewind to being a FIFA official and a Premier League official. What is that one moment that when you went home, you know, take a shower, eat some food, lie down in the bed, afterwards, you know, you just can't shut your eyes. You're like, wow, if I could just take back that one call. I made this one mistake, and because of this, I cannot sleep. What is that one moment that you said, you know, I think I had enough?
Well, actually, back in Jamaica, I didn't have any thoughts of quitting refereeing. However, sustaining an injury where I couldn't even walk properly, that took me out, for over 2 years. So then I had to give up the game then. But one moment I can specifically remember was a game down at Steds between Reno and Augustown, where there was a situation in the game. The player took a shot from Reno, and apparently when I looked to my assistant referee, he was giving me the indication that was a goal. And I signaled goal, but the players were from Augustown team was protesting that the ball went through the side of the net. As usual, our duties when we get to the field, inspect the net, the fields, everything. There were no holes in the net. That was a flashpoint in my entire referee career. I've never even got to see the tape up until today's date of that situation. There was a live TV game as well, and I didn't get to see the tape to actually know what occurred. Having a replay to look back and say, yeah, but that was one point that stick out to me that really bothered me a lot throughout my years of referee. And I would say if I could have seen that tape and make a decision otherwise, I would have. If I've seen it and know that I was wrong, if I was wrong, I would admit to it. But I didn't get to see the tape. Based on the moment, I called for what I've seen, and the game progressed, and it ended up being a 1-0 score for Reno at the time. But there were a lot of controversies surrounding that incident. I'll never forget it.
Okay, and on the flip side, once you have negative, you have to have positive. Can you say one of the positive moments while being a referee that you're like, wow, this is worth living for? Whether somebody you saw on TV and you officiated that game, or that one moment that brought you goosebumps.
I've had several moments like that. I can specifically remember doing a derby game between Cardiff and Tivoli. And there was an incident where a player got a penalty from Tivoli Gardens. And he kicked the ball outside, but the net was spread wide. The net was shaking and they were saying, hey, the ball went in, and I signaled a goal kick because the ball went out of play and not in the goal. Luckily, the game was being recorded, and at halftime, when they checked the TV cameras, I was correct. But there was still negative doubts. I even got phone calls threatening me about that game, that I was thieving this particular team that can never win a game when I officiate with them. So yeah, that was one of my moments. Also, on the international level, I had almost a similar incident my first time on the FIFA panel, 2008. I went to Cuba for the under-20 CFU qualifiers. I was doing a game between Cuba and the Dominican Republic. A player from Cuba was fouled on the penalty box line. We call it the 18-yard. I signaled and I awarded a penalty kick. And I was chastised. I was asked, why did I do this? The only person who believed me at that time was Stephen Brown.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace, Stephen Brown.
Never forget you, Stephen Alton Brown. He was the only person who believed me, other than myself. And when I explained the situation to the referee assessor, the match commissary, the other assistant who were from Aruba and other places, that there were a mixed group of us, I explained to them that's when I saw the player was fouled on the line, and according to the law, the line is a part of the box. I awarded the penalty kick. Cuba scored, game tied. At the end of the game, it was 1-1. After the debriefing, we went through whatever happened throughout the game with the referee assessor. He's a Cuban, and the game was being recorded as well, and they saw it on the TV, and I was totally correct, and nobody ever apologized to me for that. Say, yes, you were correct. So those are some of the moments I will never forget.
Well, close to your heart.
Yeah.
All right. What do you think you could have done differently, if you have any regrets, or you have regrets during your referee career?
Things that I could have done differently, maybe, I didn't have a great support system, because sometimes as young referees coming up, even if you're a senior on the panel, you need some additional guidance, from the more senior persons or the persons who are overseeing the program, to just let you know that yes, things are going good, but you're doing this not correct, and give guidance there. Other things that I would say to do correct: staying healthy, because injury comes in every sport that you play, and I got injured quite a bit, and most persons wouldn't know that. Also, better support from the administration in terms of the federation for referees. I remember a particular incident. I needed some assistance when I was injured, and I went to the federation to get some assistance, and they told me no. So I just gotta deal with it myself.
On your own?
Yeah.
All right. Just have 2 minutes remaining in the interview. I remember very, very distinctly when I became a member of the Premier League panel. Whenever I have a game, say a Sunday or a Wednesday, Kevin would call me. Kevin would call me and say, Tyrell, Chuck, do this, do that. Always a word of encouragement. I could remember that clearly. Kevin Thomas and Garnet Page, always. What would you say to persons who want to join the profession and who want to become a referee, a FIFA referee, wherever their ceiling may be at? What would you say in summing up?
Alright, so first, if you want to be a referee, you have to have a thick skin, as Prendy would always say, because the amount of verbal abuse that you face back home, physical abuse as well. Maybe a limited amount, but it's really challenging. Staying fit, staying healthy, and read the laws of the game. Always ensure you know the words, the wording, and how to apply the laws of the game on the field of play. That's very important.
All right, thank you, thank you. I want to say a big thank you to Kevin Thomas. It took me 7 years to meet up back with Kevin here in Denver, Colorado, to do this interview. If you have reached this far, people, please like, share, and subscribe to Ref Corner. Until we see you again, peace out.
Peace out.